Hello and welcome to BYJU'S Exam Prep IAS. Welcome to our weekly episode of Places in News. In this session, we are going to cover the important places that were in news over the last 1 week, that is between the 2nd of May and the 8th of May. This series is designed to help you improve your map reading skills, particularly for prelims. So if you're finding this initiative to be helpful, don't forget to like the video, share your comments, and do subscribe to our channel. So let's get started with the first topic, under which we are going to understand the jute producing states in India. But first, the context. This topic was in news because last week there were several articles highlighting the issues affecting the Indian jute industry. See, you should know that India is one amongst the 3 largest jute producing nations along with Bangladesh and China. India is not just one of the world's top producer of jute, but it also happens to be the world's largest consumer of jute and jute products. So the Indian jute industry has been facing several issues with regard to production, supplies and prices, and these issues were highlighted in few articles over the last 1 week. So in this context, you should know the major jute producing states in India. So let's do this with the help of a question and a map. The question says, which of the following is not a major jute producing state in India? Is it West Bengal, Bihar, Arunachal Pradesh or Assam? Now let me show you a map that highlights the major jute producing states in the country. By looking at the map, it becomes very clear that the top jute producing states in India include West Bengal, Bihar, Assam, followed by Andhra Pradesh, Odisha, Meghalaya, Nagaland, Tripura, Uttar Pradesh and a few other states. Amongst these states, the top producer is West Bengal. West Bengal alone accounts for nearly 50% of India's jute production. This is where you should know that the Gangetic Plain in India and Bangladesh is ideal for jute cultivation. That's one reason why India and Bangladesh are the 2 top jute producing nations. Especially West Bengal produces majority of India's jute. This is followed by Bihar and Assam. And please note that West Bengal, Bihar and Assam together account for 99% of India's jute production. All the other states are minor jute producers. So the other states include Odisha, Andhra Pradesh, Meghalaya, Nagaland, even Uttar Pradesh, and as well as Tripura and a few other minor states. So this information, even though it's very factual, can be very important for prelims, especially in map-based questions and geography-based questions. So now it's very easy to answer the question. If you go back, you can clearly say that option C is the right answer. West Bengal, Bihar and Assam are the top producing states, whereas Arunachal Pradesh does not account for jute production. So option C is the correct answer. With this, let's move on to the second topic, under which we are going to look at a region known as Transnistria. This region known as Transnistria was in news over the last few weeks. The context is that Transnistria happens to be a breakaway region and it has been in news in the backdrop of the Russia-Ukraine war. So let's understand this topic with a question and a map. A breakaway region known as Transnistria has been recently in news. Where is this region located? Is it located to the north of Golan Heights in Syria, between the Panjshir Valley and Hindu Kush Mountains of Afghanistan, between Moldova and Ukraine, or to the west of Poland and Belarus? To answer the question, you need to look at the map and see where the Transnistria region is located. This map over here makes it very clear that Transnistria is a breakaway region which has declared independence on its own, and it is located between Moldova and Ukraine. This region you see over here, this is the Transnistria region. See, this region was part of the erstwhile Soviet Union. And after the Soviet Union disintegrated in 1991, and after several new countries were born in the East European region, this place known as Transnistria should have belonged to Moldova. Technically and officially, Transnistria even today is under the sovereignty of Moldova. But the people of Moldova, they have refused to accept the sovereignty of Moldova and they have called for integration with Russia, which was the successor state to the Soviet Union. So since the Soviet Union collapsed in 1991, the Transnistria region has declared independence on its own and this has not been recognized by any country. But in this region, which is sandwiched between Moldova and Ukraine, you do find a number of people who are very loyal and aligned with Russia. Russia does support the Transnistria region. It has even deployed troops over here. Around 1,500 Russian troops are deployed, and Russia even maintains a military base in Transnistria. But officially and technically, Transnistria belongs to Moldova. Moldova has sovereignty over it, but it is not able to extend its influence and administration because of the resistance by the local people. Even though Russia has placed troops and provides financial support, even Russia has not officially recognized Transnistria as an independent country. It has also refused to integrate the region due to international complications. But this region has been in news over the last few days in the context of the Russia-Ukraine war. Since Russia has stationed troops over here since many years, it is being estimated that Russia might try to put pressure on Ukraine, especially to capture the strategic Odessa port, which faces the Black Sea. And in order to achieve this objective, Russia might make use of its troops present in Moldova to launch a new front against Ukraine from the west. This is a very likely possibility because Russia has always enjoyed support in the Transnistria region, and the local people often support the Russian troops as well. In fact, recently, Transnistria even held a referendum in which 97% of the population voted in favor of joining Russia. However, Russia resisted the temptation. It hasn't recognized Transnistria as a separate nation, and it has also not gone ahead to integrate the region into Russia. So this remains a controversial breakaway region which has been in news, and it is sandwiched between Moldova and Ukraine. Hence, it can be very important for prelims, and you should be familiar with the location of this region. So now, let's go back to the question. If you look at the question in the options, the correct answer is option C. Transnistria, the breakaway region, is located between Moldova and Ukraine. Now let's move on to the third topic, under which we're going to talk about the Nordic countries. The context is that Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi paid a historic visit to Denmark. He paid a visit to many European countries, in fact, including Germany and France. And during his visit to Denmark, India and Denmark have announced several joint initiatives, especially in the field of green and renewable energy. And along with this, India even met with all the other Nordic countries under the India-Nordic Summit. This was the second India-Nordic Summit, which gives India the opportunity to interact with the Nordic countries. So you should know where is this Nordic region located and which countries are part of it. So let's understand this with the help of a question and a map. Which of the following statements are correct? Denmark is a Nordic country but not a Scandinavian country. Nordic region lies between North Sea and Baltic Sea. Denmark shares land borders with all the Nordic countries. To answer this, you have to look at a couple of maps. See, the Nordic region is present in Northern Europe. It refers to a geographical and cultural region, and it is made up of Denmark over here, Norway, Sweden, Finland, and as well as Iceland in the Atlantic Ocean. These countries collectively are referred to as the Nordic countries. The region is known as the Nord region. So essentially, it is a sub-region in Europe. It is a geographical and cultural sub-region that includes Denmark, Norway, Sweden, Finland, and Iceland. But in the same context, there is another term which is used, that is the Scandinavia region. Scandinavia is also a sub-region. It refers to a cultural region to the north of Europe. In a narrow sense, in its narrowest definition, Scandinavia includes only Denmark, Norway, and Sweden. Only these three Nordic countries are often referred to as the Scandinavian countries. But in a broader sense, Scandinavian countries are nothing but the Nordic countries. Quite often, this broader definition for Scandinavia is used, and it includes Finland as well. So Scandinavia also covers Denmark, Norway, Sweden, and Finland. So it roughly corresponds to the Nordic region. But coming to the question, the first statement says Denmark is only a Nordic country but not a Scandinavian country. This understanding makes it very clear that the first statement was incorrect, because Denmark is both a Nordic country and as well as a Scandinavian country. Now let's examine the second and third statements that have been given. The second statement says that Nordic region lies between the North Sea and the Baltic Sea. This you can clearly see in the map. The Nord region over here definitely lies between the North Sea and the Baltic Sea. So clearly, the second statement is correct. The third statement says that Denmark shares land borders with the other Nordic countries. Please look at the map. You can clearly see Denmark does not share land borders with all the other Nordic countries, which includes Norway, Sweden, and Finland. They are separated by the North Sea. So clearly, the third statement is also incorrect. So now, the right answer would be option B, 2 only. Only the second statement is correct. So now, let's move to the next topic, under which we're going to look at a very, very important region, especially from India's point of view, that is the Arctic region. This topic is in news because the India-Nordic Summit has great significance for India's outreach towards the Arctic region. I hope you know that the Arctic polar ice caps are melting due to global warming and climate change. So this has opened up tremendous opportunities for several countries, including India. Many countries are interested in scientific research projects in the Arctic to understand climate change and global warming. This also gives an opportunity to explore the northern waters, the northern trading routes for shipping, and the region is also blessed with great resources. So the resources of the Arctic is being thrown open for competition, and an intense geopolitical game is beginning amongst the Arctic countries and as well as few other major powers. So in this context, India's interaction with the Nordic countries is very important because during the second India-Nordic Summit, India held a separate dialogue with Norway in order to take forward some of its scientific research initiatives in the Arctic region. So let's understand more about this with a question and a map. India's Arctic research facilities, Himadri and Ind Arc, are located at Greenland, Svalbard, the Faroe Islands, or the New Siberian Islands. So let's see what's the correct answer. See, India has been very actively involved in the Arctic region with regard to scientific research. India has set up scientific research facilities at the Arctic known as Himadri, which was established in 2008 as a scientific research base. And in 2014, India set up Ind Arc, which is an underwater observatory to study key changes in the Arctic region. These Arctic research facilities of India, they are located on the Svalbard Island, which you can find over here in the Arctic region, and it belongs to Norway. Norway's sovereignty over Svalbard, that is located in the Arctic, was recognized through the 1920 Svalbard Treaty. India also happens to be a signatory to the Svalbard Treaty, and this allows India to collaborate with Norway to access Svalbard. So over here, India has set up research facilities such as Himadri and Ind Arc after India carried out its first scientific expedition to the Arctic in 2007. Now, India is looking to take these initiatives forward with further collaboration with Norway, and hence, India-Norway held recent discussions at the second India-Nordic Summit. It's in this context that the Arctic region was in news, along with India's research facilities in the region. In fact, there is a grouping known as the Arctic Council to regulate the affairs of the Arctic region. The Arctic Council is comprised of members who belong to the Arctic region. That is, the Arctic states are the members of the Arctic Council. This includes the United States, Canada, Russia, and the Nordic countries such as Denmark, Norway, Finland, Sweden, which we discussed in the previous question. These are the members of the Arctic Council. Recently, other major powers like India, China, Japan, and the others, they've all got observer status to the Arctic Council. So as the northern polar routes are opening up due to melting ice caps, and as countries are competing for geopolitical influence in order to exploit the resources of the Arctic, it becomes very important for India to extend its influence into the Arctic. So that's why our relations with countries like Russia, Norway, and the others are very crucial to take forward our Arctic initiatives. Recently, in Feb 2020, India has even come out with an Arctic policy. And under this policy, India is looking to prioritize scientific research and exploration further in the Arctic. And India will need the help of countries like Norway. So with this understanding, it's very easy to answer this question now. The right answer would be option B, Svalbard. So now let's take up the last question. Under the last question, we are going to look at Italy, because Italy was in news as a result of the visit of Italian foreign minister to India. Italy's foreign minister paid an important visit during which several key initiatives and issues were discussed between the two countries. So it becomes important to be familiar with the physical geography of Italy, as it can be very relevant for prelims. The question says, which of the following physical geographical features can be found in Italy? Is it the Alp Mountains, the Apennine Mountains, Mount Etna, or the Po River? Let me show you the map of Italy that highlights the important physical geographical features. See, Italy's geography is very interesting, very important, and hence very relevant for our exams. The first point you have to notice about Italy is its shape, the geographical shape. Due to its shape, Italy is referred to as the boot of Europe because it looks to be in the shape of a boot. The next key point to notice is that Italy is surrounded by some important seas. To the west, it is surrounded by the Ligurian and the Tyrrhenian Sea. To the south, it is bound by the Mediterranean Sea, which separates Italy from Africa. Here you have the Strait of Sicily that marks the separation between Tunisia, the North African country, and Italy. Then to the east, you have the Ionian Sea and the Adriatic Sea. All these are important water bodies which can be very relevant for your prelims. Then coming to the other physical features of Italy. To the north, Italy is bound by the Alp Mountains. The Alp mountain ranges that stretch from France to Switzerland to Italy, they form the northern boundary for Italy over here. This is where you find the Po River, which is a major river for Italy, and it creates a big plain area in the northern parts of Italy. Then you find the Apennine Mountains over here, which forms the backbone of the Italian peninsula. Then if you come to Sicily over here, the Sicilian island, you find Mount Etna, which is an active volcano that lies above the Eurasian plate and the African plate, which are colliding together in this region. That is why Italy is also vulnerable for earthquakes. Then if you look at the Alps region, you'll also find Mont Blanc, the highest point on the mountain range and the highest mountain in the West European region. All these are important physical geographical features related to Italy. With this understanding, it's very easy to answer the question. All the given geographical features, they are part of Italy. So the correct answer is option D, 1, 2, 3 and 4. So with this, I would like to bring this discussion to an end. If you found the initiative to be helpful, don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Thanks for watching.